Your glossary is supposed to be the single source of truth for metric definitions. Most teams can't tell you what's actually in it. One query surfaces every duplicate, every stale term, and every gap. We've seen teams spend days debugging a metric discrepancy that came down to two glossary terms with the same name but different definitions, one in a finance glossary and another in sales. This query would have surfaced that conflict in about 10 seconds. If our glossary has been around for more than a year, there's a good chance it has problems we don't know about. Terms defined in one glossary that shadow terms in another. Definitions that haven't been touched in 18 months. Metric names that look the same but calculate differently across BI tools. We can't fix what we can't see, and the UI doesn't give us a complete view. The Metadata Lakehouse makes our entire glossary queryable via SQL. In this walkthrough, we'll look at a query that exports our complete glossary, every term, definition, owner, category, and linked asset, and then we'll look at how to use those results and what it powers. We can build a query that brings back our complete glossary inventory, everything in one place. Every term, its parent glossary, the categories it belongs to, its status, ownership, descriptions, and the assets it's assigned to. This query filters to active terms only, pulls in all the context, parent glossary, categories, descriptions, ownership, and aggregates the assets each term is linked to. The result is one row per term with everything attached. This gives us all the information we need to audit our glossary. A term with no owner has no accountability chain, and those are the first ones to drift. We'll run this query and review the results. What we get back in full: term name, description, certification status, whether it's verified, in draft, or deprecated, ownership, which categories it belongs to, how many assets it's assigned to, and the days since last update. The gaps show up immediately. Here's why the assigned asset count matters more than it looks. A glossary term without linked assets is a definition that lives in isolation. It can't surface in search results alongside the tables it describes, and it can't power AI context for the right metric. Linking terms to assets is what closes that loop. So what can we do with this output? There are three paths. The first thing we can do with the output is enrichment. Export those results to a CSV, add definitions and owners for the terms that are missing them, and load it into Atlan's bulk upload template. One pass can enrich hundreds of terms in minutes rather than clicking through each one individually. The second path is AI in source system context. Push the exported glossary, term names, definitions, and assigned assets to whatever AI system or source needs it. The third path is duplicate detection. We can easily set up dashboards or pivot tables from this output, or even create a new SQL query to find where we have multiple definitions for the same term name. Compare their descriptions and readmes and ensure that our glossary stays as a single source of truth, rather than a confusing mess where no one knows which term is the real source of truth. Those three paths, enrichment, AI context, and deduplication, cover the full scope of what this output can do. We now have a complete, queryable view of our glossary, terms inventoried, gaps identified, duplicates surfaced, and a clean output ready to push into a batch update or an AI context layer. That's how we keep metric definitions consistent at scale without clicking through every term one at a time. If you want to see how the Metadata Lakehouse handles the full lineage picture, tracing downstream impact before you make a breaking change, that walkthrough is linked right here. Drop a comment if there's a specific glossary governance scenario you want us to cover.